Hidden in the heart of North Atlantic storms lies a striking black archipelago, covering just 1,399 square kilometers across 18 volcanic islands. It's battered by fierce rain and wind 260 days a year. Trees can barely survive, yet the landscape is blanketed in lush green. About 70,000 sheep outnumber the people, and locals even leave flocks on uninhabited islands to roam freely, checking on them only once every 3 to 5 years. This isn't a Norse myth. It's a real hidden paradise, the Faroe Islands. Named one of the world's most beautiful places by National Geographic, it's breathtaking, ancient, and full of life. This self-governing Danish territory was sculpted by nature. Ancient basalt carved by glaciers and eroded by the sea formed its countless fjords and towering sea cliffs. From the 880-meter-high Sveitartender overlooking the islands to the lighthouse atop Kuller's 400-meter cliffs, every view feels like the edge of the world. On Vagar Island, Lake Sorvagsvatn is another natural wonder. Sitting 30 meters above sea level, it appears to float above the ocean. This rare illusion was created as the land rebounded after the glaciers retreated, rising at a different pace than sea level. Such extraordinary scenery comes with equally extreme weather. Where the North Atlantic current meets Arctic air, the Faroes have a cool oceanic climate. The average annual temperature is just 5.6 degrees Celsius, and the difference between summer and winter stays under 10 degrees. Locals joke that if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. Rain falls about 260 days a year, keeping the grass vividly green, while relentless winds prevent trees from taking root. The few forests that exist are all man-made. Winds can exceed 200 kilometers per hour, making the islands a true Atlantic weather laboratory. In this harsh environment, the Faroese have built a way of life unlike anywhere else. As of 2024, the islands are home to just 54,719 people, most of them of Nordic descent. Unemployment is only 2.3%, yet high living costs and the climate make it difficult to retain residents. As a self-governing territory, the Faroes issue their own krona, featuring sheep, cod, and twisted trees. Traditional homes have grass-covered roofs that blend into the landscape. There are no McDonald's or Starbucks, and the simple lifestyle makes the islands feel like a hidden paradise. Even daily life is unique. The entire archipelago has only 9 traffic lights, while circular undersea tunnels and helicopter routes connect all 18 islands. Crime is so rare that the islands have just one detention center with 12 beds, used only for short-term inmates. Serious offenders are sent to Denmark. Local police mostly deal with traffic violations and drunk driving, making the islands remarkably peaceful. Of course, these remote islands have their own challenges. The gender imbalance is significant, with about a 10% shortage of women between the ages of 20 and 40. More than half of the young women who leave to study in Europe never return. To address the issue, many local men meet women from Southeast Asia through international matchmaking platforms, creating a unique wave of immigration. By 2024, Filipinos had become the largest non-Danish immigrant group, followed by Thais. These newcomers have also brought new flavors, with dishes like Thai spicy fish soup becoming part of the local cuisine and adding diversity to Faroese life. Faroese and Danish are both official languages, and about 90% of residents use Faroese daily. Preserving much of Old Norse grammar, the language is a living reminder of the island's past. Don't mistake the Faroes' remoteness for poverty. In 2024, GDP reached $3.703 billion, with GDP per capita around $72,000, higher than France, Germany, the UK, and even Denmark, approaching the level of the Nordic countries. This prosperity comes from making the most of nature. With little crop farming, agriculture relies almost entirely on sheep. The tradition of grazing sheep on remote islands continues today, producing premium lamb that accounts for more than 70% of agricultural income. Fishing is the real backbone of the economy, contributing 90% to 95% of exports and about 25% of GDP. The island's unique waters make them one of the world's top salmon farming regions, and local company Bakkafrost is the world's 8th largest salmon producer. Bakkafrost alone accounts for about half the island's export value, while deep-sea fishing remains another economic pillar. From the Hanseatic salt cod trade in the 15th century to today's modern fishing industry, the ocean has always sustained the Faroese. Tourism is the second largest industry, generating $150 to $200 million in 2024, or about 4% to 5% of GDP. Named by Lonely Planet as a destination of a lifetime, the Faroes attract travelers with dramatic cliff hikes, Arctic seabirds, and villages topped with grass roofs. Behind the wealth is a classic Nordic lifestyle of high taxes, generous welfare and high prices. Aside from fish, lamb and water, nearly everything is imported. A kilogram of local lamb costs about 180 yuan, and a dozen eggs around 45 yuan. Prices are even higher than in mainland Denmark, but residents also enjoy free universal healthcare, with only some prescription costs paid out of pocket. Education is free from elementary school through university. The University of the Faroe Islands has only about 1,000 students, but is known for linguistics and marine biology. Students also receive monthly living stipends, even when studying in Denmark. Everything about the Faroes is rooted in its history. Around 650 AD, Irish monks arrived to live in seclusion, marking the first human settlement. 2 centuries later, Vikings sailed in on longships, turning the islands into a stopover for Iceland and leaving behind Old Norse, the foundation of modern Faroese. The islands came under Norwegian rule in 1035 and joined the Danish crown through the Kalmar Union in 1397. Occupied by Britain during World War II, the Faroes autonomy movement gained momentum. In 1948, the Home Rule Act granted the islands their own parliament, currency and language, while Denmark retained responsibility for foreign affairs and defense. The history of the Faroes is, in many ways, the history of North Atlantic seafaring. At its heart lies the capital Tórshavn, whose name means Thor's harbor, after the Norse god Thor. Home to about 14,000 people, Tórshavn sits between mountains and fjords, and serves as the political, economic and cultural center of the Faroe Islands. The old district of Tinganes, with its red wooden buildings and grass-covered roofs, stands out even on rainy days. The Eysturoy Tunnel, reaching 189 meters below sea level, anchors the transport network, while the container port drives seafood exports and the Nordic house showcases the island's modern cultural life. Here, history and modernity exist side by side. Summer brings 19 to 20 hours of daylight, drawing visitors to explore. Winter has no polar night, but daylight lasts only 5 to 6 hours, giving the islands an even more mysterious atmosphere. The Faroe Islands have never been a gentle paradise. They are a miracle forged by North Atlantic storms, where wind and rain shape the landscape, and the sea and the land sustain life. Since the Viking Age, the Faroese have adapted to nature with ingenuity and embraced new cultures with openness. On these isolated islands, they have created a way of life unlike anywhere else, a true example of harmony between people and nature. What else do you know about this North Atlantic gem? If you had the chance, would you visit the Faroe Islands and experience the beauty at the edge of the world? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching Defay Global Geography. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'm Defay and I'll see you in the next video.